For the first time since November, we have back-to-back wins. For the first time this season, we had what everyone is saying in the chat right now, and I see it. We had a cardiac Rangers affair. Holy crap, this is the first time all season that my heart was actually racing throughout the end of a game, or just in general through a game, in a very long time, since last season. But the Rangers actually get back-to-back wins. I can't believe it. I really cannot believe it. I thought that Vegas was going to come out with vengeance tonight, come out on top tonight, considering the fact that they got shut out the last game. But their offense had no answers for Will Borgen, who was leading the charge tonight with their defensive efforts. They had no answers for Adam Fox, who was blocking multiple shots. Ryan Lindgren, even, I was impressed with that points tonight, getting in the shooting lanes. Didn't love what I saw from Miro Vakanainen, but that's a different story. But either way, I thought Vegas was going to come out with vengeance, but they didn't have an answer at all. It looked like maybe at points at the end of the second period for the final 5 minutes, it looked like maybe they had answers. It looked like maybe at points in the third period they had answers, but it looks like that did not matter because Igor ended up playing himself a solid game as well, which is something that he's needed to do, and he ended up giving that tonight. And then in terms of the offense, you got a very quality effort. The top six played unbelievable. Is it time for a conversation about Chris Kreider? It might just be, man. It might just be time for a conversation about Christopher James Kreider, because Mika Zibanejad has played his best game of the entire season tonight. There's not one thing I could look at and say he did poorly tonight. He may have only got 1 point tonight. It was on the power play, but Mika Zibanejad, I think, played his best game of the season tonight. Am I starting to fall in love with Sam Carrick? I don't know. I can tell you, though, the past week he's actually been opening my eyes. For the past week in general, this team has been performing better, but especially the past two games. And I want to see it consistently, because I am still not going to get there until I see it consistently. But there was so much tonight that I've just been screaming about for all season long. This is why I yell. This is why I get pissed off. Because they are capable of giving these type of efforts. It's just, why the hell weren't they there until now? Where the hell has this been? But we're going to jump into everything, recap the game, talk about it, all that stuff. Leave a like, though, on your way into the stream. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, especially if you are a Rangers fan. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live here on the channel. And we got Delu99 with the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate that a lot. So now, I don't know who ended up getting them, but either way, if you got them, congrats to you. And you can check out some of my member-only content that I have, because I do have a couple videos. I'm going to try to upload a bit more there for the members only. Maybe I'll try to make it like a once-a-week thing, or, every other week type deal. I have a couple of member videos up, though, which you can go check out. One of them, funny enough, is about retooling the Rangers, so you can go check that out. That one's like a month old, but yeah, I appreciate the 5 gifted there a lot. I really do appreciate that. But a lot tonight that was good. There really was a lot tonight that was good with this game. That line right now, it's Zibanejad, Cooley, Smith. It looks way better than when Chris Kreider was there. It looks unbelievably better. And you're seeing a guy in Will Cooley who's actually willing to get in on the forecheck and move his legs. And I don't know if that's getting Mika Zibanejad to move his legs or what. But whatever the case may be, I don't care how it's happening. It's getting Mika Zibanejad going right now. It really is. And he was active on the penalty kill there towards the end of the game, especially. This is stuff that we have not seen from him in a long time. I don't know if it's the trade rumors that woke him up. I don't know if it's Will Cooley. I don't know what it is. All I know is that I really am liking what I'm seeing from Mika lately. I got to be honest with you. I really got to be honest with that one. Outside of the fact that he almost injured Vinny Trocheck today on that power play goal, outside of that, where he completely missed the net, he's just been great lately. And then Vinny Trocheck getting that goal too on the power play. He played great tonight. The way that he was leading the charge on the forecheck a lot of times, which, by the way, this team was actually forechecking tonight. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was beautiful, especially in the first period where they were really getting in on the forecheck. And especially once we got past the 10-minute mark in the first period, this team really picked up their game. They really did. And you saw a unbelievable effort from this team. And even when they were making the defensive lapses, the difference from what we're seeing now versus what we were seeing even 2 weeks ago, you're seeing guys actually willing to get back. You're seeing guys get on the back check. How about Sam Carrick? That 2-on-1 that Adam Fox buys time for Carrick to get back on, breaks up a play. Vinny Trocheck. Johnny Brodzinski, by the way. He played freaking great. He should have got more ice time, in my opinion. And he was getting in on the back check at points, breaking up some plays. I still would like to see some of it cleaned up because I didn't like how many rushes they were giving up towards the end of that second period and in the third period. So I like some of that cleaned up, but at least there was an effort to get there on the back check, which is something that we did not see for months throughout the season. But they were so much better in terms of that in tonight's game. And even then, I thought they played better in the neutral zone than they have in a very long time. Just overall, every single aspect of the game was on point compared to what we've seen. And even the goal that Vegas ended up scoring was really a weird, fluky goal that Mark Stone ended up just trying to get a pass across, and it just went off of Schneider's stick and then went into the back of the net. Outside of that, I mean, they played a very complete game for the most part in terms of, keeping everything out of their own net. But again, I'd like to see a better third period. I would really like to see a way better third period going forward in that regard, because a little too much pressure, a little too much in the penalty at the end scared the shit out of me. I thought Vegas was going to tie it towards the end, but not tonight. Not tonight at all. So it's just hilarious, though, that this team, they're doing this against teams that I didn't think they would, and then the teams that I thought they would be beating, they couldn't beat. It's incredible. And yeah, the Trocheck penalty I didn't like. I'm not one to complain about the refs ever. I always say that, it happens on both ends, and you just got to play through it. But that one I didn't like. I didn't like that call at all. I thought that call was terrible. Really, really thought it was. I didn't think the penalty at the end was bad. I thought that one was a fair call, but to be honest with you, the Trocheck one was a bad call. Thank you for the $5, Christopher. I really do appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Good win. This looks like last year's Rangers beat the Dirty Debs, beat the Knights in their barn. Mika looked great. Carrick, I like him. Sam Carrick is definitely starting to look better. He is starting to look better, and I never thought that I would like the way Sam Carrick was playing, especially because I thought by this time he was going to be buried in Hartford, truthfully. You guys know my feelings on that signing, but he's been stepping up a lot in the Filipino absence, which is also something I got to give him credit for, because, the first time Heedle went down, he was really not playing well, and I questioned the center depth with this team. Now he's playing good. But thank you for the 5. And I would honestly say that you could say it looked like a win from last year. I thought they looked better tonight than they did in points of last year. I mean, obviously they had some more complete efforts last year than this, but I don't know. Last year there was still a little bit of slop in the wins, which this one had slop, but it was not nearly as bad as it's been lately. And this too, I loved Will Borgen's game. Will Borgen's game was so good tonight. I thought he was the best player for the Rangers tonight. Easily thought it. And I think that the way that he was active in the D zone, it helped Keandre Miller at times, which Miller didn't play a terrible game, but there were so many times where I'm just watching Miller stand pedestrian and Will Borgen's going out there, winning 2-on-1s on the boards, getting in the passing lanes, getting in the shooting lanes. I think that Will Borgen play was the best Ranger tonight. For sure. For sure thought he was. And I don't think they were entirely bailed out by Igor tonight. Like I said, I think the third period was ugly at a lot of points. But to be honest with you, I didn't think that this is the worst effort compared to what we've seen lately. You know? And I agree with this. I'd put Zach Jones in there over Vok in the next game. I definitely would. Definitely would. It's not a coincidence, though, right now, by the way, that, because I saw someone bring up the Knicks, completely unrelated to the comment, or actually, it is related to the comment, yeah. Knicks get in the slump, the Rangers start to win games. I don't like to believe in that sort of stuff, but this is starting to make me believe in that shit, because why is it that the Knicks start looking like complete garbage, and the Rangers are now winning games? Why is that? I have no clue. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. But and maybe it was another mental reset. As much as I've been ripping on the signing, there is truth to the fact that there is a cycle with Igor Shesterkin, which I've seen the graphic on Instagram all the time, and it's just so true, where it's just like, we're ripping on his play. He goes all-star mode for a bit, then goes back to playing a little poor, comes into the playoffs, steps up his game, and then it's just like rinse and repeat the cycle. It is what it is with him, which I still stand by the fact that I don't think $11.5 million should be what should be his contract. I will die on that hill until proven otherwise, but there is truth to the fact that there is a cycle there with him. I liked Kaliev's game too tonight. I thought he was a lot more noticeable than he was in the New Jersey game. I liked Kaliev's game a lot more tonight. I thought he was more involved. And I agree with that. If you get a net front guy, maybe that could work out for him. If Kreider's physically able to do that, which I don't know where I stand about Kreider right now, because I have a lot of weird feelings about him. And, you know, as much as he does annoy me, I'm like, all jokes, everything aside, all criticism aside, I'm seriously worried about the back injury. Like, back injuries are just no joke, and I'm worried about him coming back and it hurting the team, because he just does not look... He hasn't looked right all season. I'd like to see him get some reps on the power play, which I know tonight we didn't really get to see it, but has actually scored, but still, I'd like to see him on a power play. The thing is, will Kreider even be 100%? Because it seems like that back injury is really an issue. So I don't know if we're even going to get a 100% Chris Kreider the remainder of the season. I thought they played the bottom six enough tonight, which the only guy that I think was really underutilized tonight was Johnny Brodzinski. I thought Rempe's minutes were fair. Edstrom, which it was good to see him score because I was getting close to slandering him. I'm not going to lie. He's a guy that I was very upset to see still in the lineup over Brett Berard, who got sent down. I still don't love that Berard was sent down, which I still would take Rempe out for Berard next game. And I get the whole thing. They win with Rempe. They win with Rempe. I get it. But Brett Berard deserves to be in there over him. Sorry, he does. How would I feel if the Rangers turned the season around? Sam Rosen's final season. I'd be thrilled about that, but I still definitely I'm sorry to say it, I still have my doubts though, and because I'm gonna stay consistent with my opinion that I said after they beat New Jersey. I have to see this play for at least a week or two before I'm fully bought in. I have to see this type of play consistently. But that's just me. And I know they need center depth, but I still think Berard should be here over Rempe. And this too, I think he deserves to be in over VC. I definitely think he deserves to be in over VC. Absolutely. I have not liked Jimmy VC's game this season. And I think, honestly, when this team is back at full strength, there's no way VC should be in the lineup. And if he even would be at that point, because now at this point with Kaliev in the mix, it's like, where's VC even slot in with a fully healthy squad? And this too, like, I like Brodzinski a lot more right now. Yeah, VC's invisible. He doesn't even kill penalties. He's just a guy. Do I need a winning streak? I don't even necessarily just need a winning streak. I need to see them play good hockey before I'm bought in. I've always said it, like, if you look competitive in a loss, you know, you maybe get goal lead here and there, something along those lines, or it's a competitive, like, 50-50 game. But a win streak would definitely help, but it depends how they're winning too. But these past two games have been a lot better. Shout out to everyone watching though right now. I do gotta say that right now, because we got, let's see, we got 400 of you in here, 150 on YouTube, and we got over 250 on Twitter right now. I appreciate all of you late night owls staying up with me, bearing through this for the night. At least the next two games are at 9 o'clock, so a little bit earlier. I had to get some more caffeine in the system before going live, truth be told, because there was not a shot in hell I was going to make it through this. I honestly didn't think I was going to make it through the game, to be honest with you, because I'm watching earlier the Chargers and the Texans starting to fall asleep on the couch. I'm like, how the hell am I going to make it through this game tonight? And then the Ravens and Steelers game was a little boring, and I'm starting to fall asleep more. Got some Chipotle in the system, though. Got ready to roll, and then I just chugged some caffeine before going live here. Otherwise, I would probably be falling asleep here in the chair. So, not that anyone gives a shit about any of that, but sorry, I just started rambling. Thank you for the $5, Jay Lewis. I appreciate it. VC should be waived to keep Berard. They're scared to lose a vet to waivers, especially since Berard looked good and sitting back in the third yet again. I agree with the sitting back in the third thing not being ideal. They need to be a lot better, get back to, defending the neutral zone and chipping pucks in. And I thought they were playing too east-west at points in the third when they were trying to break the puck up the ice and generate some of their offense. Like Lafreniere was forcing a little too much east-west at one point, just to, give an idea of a play that happened late in the third, which almost led to Vegas getting a rush against. But in terms of the VC thing, yeah, I think they want a trade partner for VC. Ideally, you find a trade partner before you put them on waivers, even if you get just like a seventh back. Yeah, that Texans game was a snooze fest, man. That was terrible. And man, I feel bad for Nico. I don't know if he's watching this. Probably not. He's definitely in bed by now. I mean, he goes to bed at like 4 o'clock. So, he's not watching this. But all jokes aside, man, I feel bad for him with his Chargers. But that game was a snooze fest. Justin Herbert, the Chargers might have to give it up with him. That's the football segment, though, of this one. 41 likes, 150 watching. Let's get to 100. Yes. Thank you, Mike NYR for life. I agree with that one. If the Rangers continue the trend in this direction, do I think they have Ryan O'Reilly as a trade target? I don't know about that one. I still don't know. I really don't, because I think that like the only thing is he does have term, right? Which could save it, but I don't know if that's the direction that they should go in. And it's not because of Ryan O'Reilly as a player. I still stand by the fact that because these few games don't change how I feel entirely, in the regards that this team still needs to add speed. They still need to get a bit more youth infused in this lineup, and getting a guy that's on the wrong side of 30 that has a lot of mileage on him, especially with the way he plays, I don't know if that's the right guy. I want to see them ideally bring in a guy with term that's on the younger side of things, but it would depend on the price, honestly, at that point. And yeah, the Ravens game wasn't any better at all. You're right. And honestly, I was a little disappointed that the Ranger game was overlapping that one, because I thought that was going to be like a really exciting game. And hell no. Hell no. And from everyone that watched it, I saw people tweeting about the game saying that it was disappointing as well. So I do want to see, though, I should see what the Rangers schedule is coming up, because, I'm counting personally on the Birds getting a fat W tomorrow. Hosting the game, of course. Of course, the Rangers play Saturday and Sunday next week, and that's just great. Hopefully the Eagles game will be during the afternoon for one of those games. If not, I'm going to have to figure out a way to go about that one. I might have to do the old DVR type deal there, and then go live later on whichever day it is. Hopefully they play Saturday, because I feel like that has a better chance of being a earlier game. I could be wrong, but either way, hopefully it doesn't interfere with the plans here, because I'm counting on them to get a win tomorrow, of course. I knew I was going to get the comments about why I'm an Eagles fan, why I'm an Eagles fan. And yeah, this is really how I'm looking at it. My team's in the playoffs. I did it with the Mets. I'm probably going to have to do the same here. I was doing it with the Mets earlier in the season when they were on a run, which still crushes my heart knowing that they could have gone an extra mile. They could have gone the distance, and they couldn't do it. But hopefully the Eagles got it something better in store for me, because do I ever need a championship? Do I ever need one? Because it's just, yeah. Even though it wouldn't hit the same, honestly, as a Mets or Rangers championship, or even Knicks. Like, truthfully, those teams would hit different compared to the Eagles, but I still would take it. Thank you for the $5, Adam. I really do appreciate that. Heedle is probably the most exciting player to watch aside from Berard, but it's clear he can't stay healthy. Yes, which is why exactly I wanted them to get center help this offseason. How the fuck am I an Eagles fan? Honestly, there's really no, like, strong backstory to it. Like, truthfully, when I was watching football growing up, I really didn't, like, get attached to any teams, honestly. And then I liked McNabb a lot, though, in my younger years, but I just ended up picking the Eagles because the Jets and Giants stink. They're the next closest team locally. So I just ended up picking the Birds. I really don't have a strong backstory to it. I know it sounds lame, but that's just kind of how it happened. But, you know, I watched a lot of them growing up. I loved the Saints growing up too. The Saints when Drew Brees was there. Loved watching them. They were another team that I really liked. Which honestly, I wish I just stuck. Wish I stuck that route so I didn't have to deal with heartbreak. Just watching every team in the league and just enjoying that. Like I like the Steelers a lot too. Growing up, watching them, the Steelers were a team. I like the Dolphins too. Some of those teams were fun to watch. I'm sorry, man. I know it's not popular. I know everyone hates it. I get it. I get that everyone is disappointed in that, but what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? If it makes you feel better, it's probably the team that I care the least about out of my 4 teams. Truthfully, it is. And as much as it would be cool to see them win, like I said before, it would not hit the same as the Rangers, especially. I mean, the Rangers and Mets specifically would put me on another dimension. Like when the Mets looked like I had for just a glimmer, I had just so much hope at one point during that run that they were going to get the job done. And it was euphoric, the feeling when Lindor hit that grand slam. If they won, oh my God, I would have been so annoying. I would have been just... And if the Rangers ever win, I'm going to be so annoying. I'm going to be so annoying. But if it makes you feel better. We got a Niners fan, 10-year-old an Eagles fan, to my eternal horror. Well, at least I'm not the only one then. If he's a Ranger fan too. That's a Ranger Eagle fan. You're a Dolphins fan, join the club. I can't do all that. I'm already like in too deep. I'm already in too deep with the Eagles. Could tell you sleepy, yeah. He said bread, not Berard. Oh, did he? Yeah, he did say bread. I don't know why I read that wrong. To be fair, it is close. I am sleepy. You're not wrong about that. But thank you for catching that one. I apologize, Adam. You were saying bread on that one. Bread, not Berard. It is close, though. You can't get... Come on, like, it's close. And I was reading that quickly. I apologize there, Adam, and I apologize in general to everyone in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I read that wrong. But thank you for catching that. Almost became a Cowboys fan. Yeah, you dodged a bullet there. 49ers were my team growing up. Yeah, I know there's a lot of 49er fans. I know there's a lot of Ranger Cowboy fans as well. That, and I just like the Eagles were just one of the teams that I watched a lot when I was growing up, because I really just watched most teams, because man, it was peak NFL. And not that I'm that old or anything, but like before this era of football, with the Drew Breeses of the world, with the Tom Brady's of the world, Rodgers in his prime, Eli Manning, you know, those guys. That was peak football for me. Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Super Bowl dream matchup, Bills-Lions. That would honestly be my nightmare matchup, because no offense to anyone if they're a Bills fan in here, don't love the Bills. And with the Lions, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Lions would beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship in that scenario, which would also suck. But if they did not, if they didn't play each other, I can't talk. If they didn't play each other in the NFC Championship and the Lions went to the Super Bowl, then that would make it a little bit easier for me. Early thoughts on Kaliev? I thought Kaliev was good tonight. I'm wrong. I didn't say. When did I say Grohl was worse than Berard? I said VC is worse than Berard. I said that Rempe is worse than Berard. I didn't say any of that. Another team that I didn't mention, by the way, that I also really liked growing up, the Colts. The Colts were another team. Loved me some Reggie Wayne. Remember Sanchez of the Jets? Yeah. The Jets then were fucking sick, man. Like, that defense as well. Revis Island, Camardi. They were sick. Yeah, the Colts are bums now, but the Colts with Peyton running the show, with Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison. Jay Lewis, thank you for the 2. Sorry, I already answered that before you sent that, so I'm really sorry. But thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. Yeah, Marvin Harrison and Manning. That's what I'm saying, man. The Colts were sick. Yeah. And when he was with the Broncos, too. Yeah. Rex Ryan might coach the Jets again. To me, that screams the Buffalo Sabres hiring Lindy Ruff again, because he was the last coach to get them to the playoffs. Like, that reeks of just desperation there. I'm sorry to Jet fans, man. I'm sorry that they got to endure that garbage. I really feel bad. I'm sorry to anyone that's looking for hockey talk. You can comment hockey stuff. I'll get to it, but we're kind of off the rails here with football, which I am liking. It's the playoff season. We kind of covered everything with the game. So, and thank you, MEZ, for that. I really do appreciate that. off the bed. Lucky you. But you have a good night, MEZ. Will the Cleveland Browns finally be a winning team? No. Nope. Yeah, Revis was sick for them. Revis was absolutely sick. Baker is underrated. As much as I hate the Bucks, Baker is definitely underrated. Is Kreider going to play for USA? Good question. I have no clue. I mean, it really depends on how that back is going to hold up. Really depends. I have no clue, though, how it's going to hold up at all. Why do I hate the Bucks? Because they just are the Eagles' fathers. Like, that's really all it is to that. That pirate ship gives me so much trauma, man. Between last year's postseason appearance, between Jalen Hurts' first time in the playoffs, Tom Brady just absolutely punking them, between the regular season, the Bucks, man, they just own the Eagles. Make a poll who makes the playoffs first, Jets or Browns in the future. Honestly, I could answer that for you. I truly think the Jets, because the Browns are stuck with a piece of shit quarterback, which I'm not sorry that he tore his Achilles or whatever it was again, like at all. But I don't know. I think the Jets at least could maybe find their way to get there. I don't know. Who is my Super Bowl pick? I'm biased. I got the Eagles and Chiefs, and my reasoning is mainly the logo. I'm buying into the logo theory because it's red and green this year. And that could be, I know that could be the Packers, but that the Eagles wear Kelly green. The Packers don't wear Kelly green. So I'm going with the Eagles and Chiefs, and I'm partially going with the Chiefs just because every time we do this gimmick of, well, maybe it's Buffalo this year, maybe Baltimore will beat them, I'm not falling for it anymore. I'm not falling in the trap anymore. If it's different this year, then good for either of those teams. Good for the Bills, good for the Ravens, good for whoever. But I'm not falling into the trap this year. I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm done counting them out. And I'm not denying that the Ravens have a good chance. The Bills definitely have a good chance. But I just am not going to... this is really what it comes down to. It's just never Buffalo. Buffalo just always finds a way to fold under pressure against the Chiefs. Baltimore is the only other team with a chance. I think Buffalo does have a chance, but I still just think the Chiefs are not. They didn't even look the sharpest this year, and they're still the 1 seed. They are still the 1 seed. And I know they had a lot of things go their way, but it's just what it is with them. Especially when they have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. Chris Collinsworth, he's going to drive me insane. He's going to drive me insane tomorrow night. Although, at least he's not getting the Eagles game. But tomorrow night, if I have to watch... If the Eagles lose, then I'm not watching the night game. I mean, that's not even a question. But And maybe he won't drive me insane then, because it's either I'm not watching or I'm riding the high of an Eagles dub. So yeah, I had the Chargers winning today. I had the Chargers winning today too. I had the Chargers winning, and then I got the Ravens right though with my picks. So 1 for 2. But with football, it's hard to keep a consistent bracket because they do the reseeding. Hey, the thing that Giant fans and Eagles fans can unite on, though, the only teams to beat Brady in the Super Bowl. But I get that. I get it. I get it. I could see Denver beating Buffalo too. Honestly, this first round, like, I don't know, these games have been snooze fest, but I really could see all of them going either way, because if you want to hear my picks, I should say picks, I have the Bills beating the Broncos. I could see it going either way. The Eagles winning, which I don't want to say it, but I could see it going the other way. Commanders Bucks, I have the Commanders. I could see it going the other way. And then the Rams Vikings. That one's probably the toughest, but I think the Vikings. But the Vikings also fold under pressure in the playoffs too. That, again, could see it going either way. Any thoughts on who may be calling Ranger games next season? Kenny Albert. Kenny Albert. That's who I think it's taken over. Sleeping on the Bucks. I'm not sleeping on them. I think the Bucks could win. Like I said, I think it could go either way. I just really like Washington. And my problem with the Buccaneers, honestly, is how hit or miss they are. They are such a hit or miss team. But that game, I think, is going to be the most exciting. I think that's going to be the highest scoring game of all of them. I'm hammering the over on that game. I would love Bob if he got hired. Starting to look like Vinny Trocheck. I don't know about that, but if that's a compliment, thank you. If it's not a compliment, then that makes me upset. I don't know. I guess it makes me upset. Yeah. I actually should see though what I want to cook up for tomorrow potentially. Got the Knicks on tomorrow as well, which that's gonna be a little. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about the Knicks because they are just in such a slump right now, and I gotta do my video for there, so that one's gonna be a little interesting. Imagine Darl gets hurt and the Vikings have to play Daniel Jones. That would be hilarious. I actually talked to my brother about that today. That would be funny. But yeah, I think tomorrow I might make a little parlay with the over in that game for Washington and Tampa. Cook something up a little bit. I think I might do that. Yes, I do have a Knicks channel. Knicks Central. And then I have a Mets one. Mets Central. I'm everywhere. I'm easy to find. It's on the if you go to my channel as well, if you go to the homepage of it, scroll down a bit, you'll see both of them. I know, very creative names, right? Do a Chris Collinsworth impersonation. You know, I do over 100 voices and I'm a voice actor, but your impersonation of Chris Collinsworth is really funny. You got to give me something to like base it off of. I can't just like, I don't know. I need something to build off of with commentating with Chris Collinsworth here. I need an idea here, so give me one in the chat and I'll figure it out. And I'll give you guys a Chris Collinsworth impersonation. Do it when he's glazing Allen. Wait, I gotta compose myself a bit. Because that just made me laugh. Now, here's a guy in Josh Allen who really just kind of, sort of, maybe almost reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. But here's a guy who just made a self-pass to himself. I mean, this is what we see from Patrick Mahomes all the time, and usually it's him doing it himself with his legs, but instead Allen making the self-pass and using his legs to find the end zone. I mean, you just don't see anything like it, unless it's Patrick Mahomes, of course. That's what I got for you. I don't know. I started rambling a little bit. Tony Romo's terrible at commentating. Jim, yeah, it's such a game of cat and mouse here. Look at Patrick Mahomes. I mean, what spaceship did he take to the stadium? I mean, look at the way that he's able to scramble the pocket and roll to his right to find the hands of Travis Kelce. I mean, it's impressive that every season he pretty much has a different receiving core here in Kansas City, but he finds ways to get it done every time because he's just simply not from this planet. And this is why Arrowhead, as well, is one of the toughest stadiums to play in. Warm or cold, he finds ways to get it done. Tony Romo loves Allen. Yeah, he does. He loves Josh Allen. It's either all right or here's a guy. Remember when we were talking about the Rangers? I know, we went off the rails. It's a late night stream, man. It is what it is. It's football. It's playoff football. Chris Collinsworth on a suspendable Rempe hit. I gotta think. Now, here's a guy in Matt Rempe who just got his elbow a little too high on the quarter, just like we see the defenseman trying to do to the quarterbacks, especially Patrick Mahomes. But this is why they've evolved to protect the quarterback a lot more in our game. I don't know. That one's a little tough with commentating a Rempe one. Or maybe it's something... I gotta think of something a little more creative there. Now, here's a guy in Matt Rempe who's just a horse. I mean, this is what we see from guys like Khalil Mack or maybe someone from the Philadelphia Eagles, because they're just bullies there. And this is why we're talking about the Eagles competing with the Detroit Lions potentially in an NFC Championship game. But Matt Rempe is showing that physicality here against these New Jersey Devils. And I mean, this is why Devil fans hate him. He's just a bully. I don't know. That's the best I got for you. Collinsworth breaking down passengers being lit on fire on the subway. No, here's a guy who's almost on fire as Patrick Mahomes is playing. Jeez. That's funny. Are the Rangers going after Sprong? Probably not. They would have claimed him. I don't think they're gonna go after him. I don't know. I think it would have been done by now. Yeah, I like Greg Olsen. I find it so dumb that he got moved off the prime time, or not the prime time, the game of the weeks for Tom Brady just because it's Tom Brady. Come on. All right. I think though I'm going to have to cut the stream here. I'm exhausted now. the Chris Collinsworth voice drained me even further. And we're going so off the rails here either way. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. It's almost 2 a.m. too. Jeez, I didn't even realize. I'm going to wrap it up, though. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.